Participant education. Saving. You may recognize this graphic that we introduced at the beginning of the first section. We've brought it back here to reinforce a critical idea. While your health, employment, Social Security, and living expenses are all uncertain, the truth of the matter is that saving for retirement is one of the few areas completely within your control. You choose how much money you need for your budget, and you choose how much you can afford to put into your retirement savings each month. The biggest impact you can have on your retirement is how much you put towards it each month. Small changes today can turn into huge rewards tomorrow, as we'll see in a few slides. Before we get started, have you thought about what you will need to retire comfortably? If the answer to that is no, don't worry, because most people haven't thought it through as much as they should. Many Americans do not know how much they should have saved and have not calculated what they realistically might need for a comfortable retirement. The best way to plan ahead is to start as soon as you can. The reason starting to save early is so crucial is because of the power of compounding. We'll talk about compounding more in a few slides, but here are the basics. Each year your money is invested, it may earn a positive rate of return, depending on market performance, investments chosen, and economic conditions that year. The following year, your initial money, plus the extra you made from investing it the prior year, together both receive an additional return, which gets added to the growing total, and on it goes. So here's a quick example before we revisit the power of compounding later on. In this example, let's say an investment earns a steady 10% return, as displayed in the table here. If I have $1 million and earn a 10% return, after that first year I'll have $1.1 million, or a gain of $100,000. Because this interest is compounding, the next year my now $1.1 million again earns an additional 10%, turning into $1.21 million, or a $210,000 gain from 2 years before. Note the additional $10,000 I received. That is the interest I made on top of my interest. The reason it is so crucial to start saving early is because over 20 to 30 years, that compounding can have a huge impact on your total retirement savings, as we'll see in a few slides. We've touched on this idea before, and we all know it is recommended to start saving as much as is financially possible, as early as possible. But how much should you already have saved? Let's take a look at this chart, which uses a few assumptions, but it can serve as a rough estimate for how much you should already have saved based on your age and income level. The model assumes, among the other factors listed to the right, that this person has been contributing 5% of income each year to savings, with an annual return of 6.5% on the investments. Let's say I am 45 years old and make $50,000 per year. I multiply my income, $50,000, times the corresponding number in the row for my age, in this case 1.8. This equals $90,000. At this point in my life, at age 45, I should already have $90,000 set aside for retirement. Calculate this figure for yourself. If you don't have this amount saved yet, don't worry. It's not too late to start saving. Investors should make saving for retirement a priority by saving early, making consistent contributions, and if they elect to do so, investing the money they are saving. By starting to save at later ages, investors miss out on the benefits of compounding and could end up with a much smaller amount in their retirement account. This chart does a good job of giving us examples that show how saving early and investing that money in diversified investment accounts could have a significant impact on how much money an investor has at retirement. I'm going to briefly talk about the different scenarios shown here. Before I start, we're assuming for every year a person is saving money, they are saving $10,000. First, we have Noah, at the bottom of the graph in green, who saves $10,000 each year from age 25 through age 65. He keeps his savings in cash in a regular savings account with a small annual return. After 40 years, at age 65, Noah has saved a total of $400,000. Since he kept that money as cash, that $400,000 has turned to $652,000, or a total of 39% return on his money, which we see in green on the right. Next is Lila in purple. Lila starts saving later, at age 35, and saves $10,000 each year over the next 30 years. Unlike Noah, who kept his savings as cash, Lila invests her money and earns a return of 6.5%. When Lila retires at age 65, the total of $300,000 she saved has turned into $919,000. Quincy in gray is our next example. Quincy started saving early at age 25 and only contributed until he was 35. So over that 10 years, he saved a total of $100,000. Quincy invested his money and leaves it compounding for the next 30 years. At age 65, Quincy's $100,000 has turned into $950,000. That's an 89% return on his money. Our last example is Chloe in blue. Chloe starts saving at age 25 and contributes her $10,000 every year between 25 and age 65. In total, Chloe has saved $400,000 over those 40 years. Chloe invested her money into a retirement account and earned a 6.5% return every year. At age 65, Chloe has $1.87 million saved up. Note that Noah and Green and Chloe saved the same amount of money each year for those 40 years, but because Noah did not invest his money, and Chloe did earn 6.5% a year that compounded, Chloe has almost triple the amount of money saved. This is why, when making your investing decisions, it is so crucial to understand how the rate of return can affect your total savings. Given how little savings accounts and money market funds offer for rates of return, honestly close to zero these days, it's important to consider investing some of your retirement assets in investments that may generate returns at least above inflation. I'd like to point out something here because it is significant. Quincy in gray only saved for 10 years, while Lila in purple saved for over 30. At retirement age, Quincy, who saved only $100,000 total, has more money than Lila, who saved $300,000. The reason for this? Compounding. That extra 10 years of compounding by starting at age 25 instead of 35 made all the difference. That's why investing early is so crucial to your overall retirement. The first years in the workforce are arguably the most important time to start saving, but the time the fewest people actually do so. That being said, if you're just starting to save and you're past your 20s, do not worry. There are many options you can use to catch up. Now that we have covered how important saving can be to your overall financial future, let's look at the average savings rates for Americans today. Over the last 50 years, Americans have saved an average of 8.4% of their income each year, but in 2015, the average American saved 5.5%. The savings rates have increased since a few years ago, but it is still well below the suggested 10 to 15% believed to be required to fund retirement. So where do you fall? If you're saving less than the suggested 10 to 15%, the question to ask is, can you start saving more from each paycheck? As you can see from the compounding example, the longer you wait to contribute to your retirement accounts, the less time those investments have to compound and help increase the amount you have at retirement. It's not just about what you are comfortable setting aside for your future. It's about what you need to set aside to be comfortable in the future. Do you know your company offers to directly deposit a portion of your paycheck straight into your 401k? If you're taking advantage of this, what percent are you contributing to savings in each paycheck? Having this money automatically set aside can be one of the best ways to ensure you're planning ahead for a comfortable retirement. When it comes to investing for retirement, we all have the best of intentions, but life happens. Whether it's an accident, an unexpected medical expense, or a large housing expense, any of these may require more money than your income can comfortably provide. Your 401k and other retirement accounts are meant for your retirement, not as an emergency reserve fund. In addition to tax penalties, there can be serious long-term effects for using this money before retirement. Let's take a look at how taking out a loan from your 401k or early withdrawals can affect your total savings. In this example, the individual starts saving at age 25 and contributes a total of 9% of his or her income each year to a 401k. Around age 32, $10,000 is taken out of the 401k for a down payment on a house. The 401k is used again at age 50 for a loan for a child's college. And again, the 401k is dipped into at 62, a few years before retirement. In total, $30,000 has been taken out. Even though the first $20,000 was repaid over 8 years, in total there are 11 years when this person either did not contribute or only did a partial contribution to our 401k. So what does all of this mean in real dollars? At age 65, after the loans and withdrawals, this person has $1.186 million set aside for retirement. If the loans and withdrawals had not happened and this individual had contributed regularly each year, the total account value could have been $1.7 million. That's 30% or $518,000 less. So in this example, $30,000 pulled out of this person's 401k with no added contributions meant over $500,000 in real cost over time. While here $30,000 had a major effect, in reality, many withdrawals from 401ks are much larger. Taking money out of a 401k can be some of the most expensive money ever spent. There are other reasons for putting money aside in a 401k or other types of retirement accounts. In addition to investing that money and taking advantage of compounding, as we've discussed, arguably one of the biggest benefits can be the real dollar savings from having money that is protected from some taxes. Tax-deferred accounts, like 401ks, mean the money coming out of your paycheck is put directly into this type of account without being taxed, and it is not taxed until you withdraw it during retirement. By money not being taxed on the way in, a larger amount of your money can continue compounding over time. This money will be taxed when you withdraw it in retirement, but it is not taxed while it stays in your retirement account. This slide compares the results of investing $5,500 per year in a tax-deferred account versus a taxable account each year for 30 years, with an average rate of return of 6.5% per year. After 30 years, the tax-deferred account may have greater wealth even after income taxes and other marginal taxes are paid. When you sign up for a 401k plan, you get to decide how much of your paycheck to directly deposit into a retirement account. This seemingly simple choice can have a surprisingly big impact on how prepared you are for retirement. Because 401ks and other tax-deferred accounts can be extremely lucrative over the long term, there are restrictions on how much money can be contributed to them each year. For everyone under the age of 50, you can contribute up to $18,000 each year towards your retirement. For anyone over age 50, the government allows catch-up contributions to assist in preparing for retirement. Individuals over 50 can contribute up to $24,000 each year as of 2016. Thank you for watching our video on saving for your retirement. Stay tuned for the next segment on investing.